Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to Chocolate Covered Pages. I'm Kiona, and in today's video we are going to talk about over 25 books by black authors that are coming out in the first quarter of 2025. I got a lot of books to talk about, so let's just get straight to it. Okay, so you might be wondering why we are doing just the first quarter, and that's because there's so many books that are coming out this year that I would literally be here all day telling y'all all the books that y'all should have on y'all radar by black authors. But I really wanted to focus on this first 3 months of the year because, one, I'm going to be doing that a lot with my content this year, is working in quarters, whether that be wrap-ups, anticipated reads. We are going to be chopping them down in little bite-sized pieces so that specifically for us library folks, we can get on these hold lists very early. We need to be number one, okay? We need to know exactly when the book is coming out so we could start putting them on the list nice and early so we could get those fresh, clean, crispy copies. That's always been my thing. I don't like it when the library book done made a few rounds around town, and you know, who knows what people do with library books other than reading. Who knows what their hands is like while they reading. We don't want to think about those things. So we need to be top of the list. I don't care where you live. It's always good to be number one. And if you see me looking down, it's because that's where my notes are. I'm not going to be giving full synopsis on all of these books because that would just take way too long. So some I'm going to be giving what I think is just enough to know whether you might be interested or not. You know, the genre, the gist of it, you know. First up on my list, coming out on January 7th, we have The Life of Herod by Zora Neale Hurston. And this is the last novel that Zora was working on, and they were able to retrieve it. We are so happy for this. We love when that happens, right? This is a historical novel about Herod the Great, and this is a figure in the Bible, and apparently in the Bible he is known as a villain. So this is a story that Zora Neale Hurston put together to see a different side of him, not the villain that the Bible portrays him to be, but a religious and philosophical man who lived a life of valor and vision. I love this cover. I cannot wait till my copy gets here, which should be soon because the 7th is right around the corner. So I'm just, you know, we're just hoping it gets here very soon because I want it in my hands. Another book coming out on January 7th, which I'm happy to have a copy, is The Unexpected Diva by Tiffany L. Warren. I think I spoke about this before. When I hold this, I have been a fan of Tiffany L. Warren's work for a while now. I've read a couple of her novels in the past, and I really enjoyed all of them. So this one is a historical novel from her, and this is about a famous black opera singer that I never heard of, and I'm really excited to get into her story. Elizabeth Taylor Greenfield. This actually happened before the Civil War. This girl was born into slavery, and somehow she ends up rescued and living with a Quaker in Philadelphia. And then while she's living with this Quaker, she is able to get all of the education that she needs, the vocal training, all of these things she is able to take part in. Unfortunately, the Quaker's health is beginning to decline, and when the Quaker passes away is when everything for Elizabeth becomes a bit of a challenge, because she is attempting to try to get, what was left to her by the Quaker. And I hate that I keep saying the Quaker, but I don't know this woman's name. I didn't read the book yet. But, of course, the people surrounding the Quaker, like family and other household staff, they are doing everything that they can to block her from getting what was rightfully owed to her. Okay, so the next one coming out on January 7th. January 7th is a very big day in publishing, okay? I think that is because it's really like the first full week of January, so it makes sense, you know. The First and Last King of Haiti, The Rise and Fall of Henry Kristoff by Marlene L. Daut. This is a nonfiction about Henry Kristoff, who I never heard of, by the way. He helped Toussaint during the Haitian Revolution, and somehow he ends up then fighting on the side of Napoleon against the very enslaved people that he was initially helping before. So somehow he ends up becoming Haiti's king. He's their king for a good 9 years before he unalives himself. So this is a story about what happened, one, to make him switch sides on us, and then second, how did he end up being king and all this other stuff. Like, I am very, very interested in this story, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. So now we're moving on to January 14th, and first up we have Isaac's Song by Daniel Black. And this, I can't really tell you this, like the synopsis for this one, because this is following the son that is in book 1, which is Don't Cry For Me. I don't really know too much. I haven't read Don't Cry For Me, but I would like to. Okay, and then another book coming out on January 14th is going to be Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. This is a book that I actually already started reading. Not too much, but just enough to kind of get the gist of it. And this is a Afrofuturism novel, and we're following a woman named Zelu, and Zelu is a disabled professor and writer. Unfortunately, the book that she has been working on has been receiving many rejections. And while she's away in Tobago at her sister's wedding, she receives a call saying that she's now been fired from her professor position. So now she has no job. She don't have, you know, her book isn't doing well. She decides to just scrap everything, and she begins writing a brand new story, which is Rusted Robots. So this is completely a story within a story. So the chapters are kind of, once she starts writing the story about the robots, the chapters kind of flip back and forth, which I really love, stories within stories. So it's like a 2-for-1 special, you know. But yes, the robot story is about a world in which there are no humans. The humans made the robots, and somehow the humans are no longer here, and these robots are just trying to do the best they can, I guess. So I'm curious to see how this one continues. And coming out on the 21st is going to be The New Internationals by David Wright Fallade. This is a historical fiction novel, and this is set in post-war Paris 1947. So the city is recovering from the war, and it has all these young international students roaming around, right? So in this story, we are following 3 of them. One is a Jewish girl, one is a French-born Senegalese girl, and another is her boyfriend, who is West African. That's all I got, y'all. I'm interested though. I'm still interested. Now we're moving to January 28th, and the book coming out on January 28th is We Rip the World Apart by Charlene Carr. She is also the author of Hold My Girl, which is how I remembered the name because that book was on my radar. This is about a 24-year-old biracial girl. She discovers that she's pregnant with a child she's not sure that she wants. The story also flips back to the 1980s when her parents made their way to Canada. Her mom is white and her father is black. And I believe that this is going to be her mom's point of view. And we're getting to see how the father was treated being a black man in Canada. And we're also going to see the way the main character's brother is treated as well in Canada as a biracial black boy. This is described as a sweeping, y'all know I love that word, multi-generational story about motherhood, race, and secrets. All the buzzwords. All of the buzzwords. Okay, and then also on January 28th, we have Black and Blues, How a Color Tells the Story of My People by Imani Perry. This is a nonfiction, and this book is about a meditation on the color blue and its role in Black history and culture. Every time Imani Perry's name comes up, I think of something really, really embarrassing that happened. Really, really embarrassing. And I'm going to tell y'all real quick, and then we're going to get back to the rest of the books. So, I was at the Well Read Black Girl Festival years ago, before the pandemic even happened, right? Glory Adam, the founder, she had a whole front row laid out for bookstagrammers, for black bookstagrammers that she was inviting to the festival. I was one of them. It was a great, great time. And she even took us to lunch. It was really, really nice. So while we're sitting there in the front row in between panels, I'm just kind of looking around, and I am seeing that the person next to me, I don't think she's a bookstagrammer because I didn't know her. I didn't know who she was, never seen her before. And at that time, Black Bookstagram wasn't as big as it is now. So I was like, oh, you know, I didn't say anything at first. I just kind of looked or whatever. And then someone at the podium was like, yeah, and we have, our bookstagrammers and our authors. And then I turned to her and I was like, oh, are you an author? And then she was like, yeah. But she never said her name. I never asked her name because the person was still, speaking up there. So I didn't want to be rude. I was in the front row or whatever. And I turned around. And then later on in the festival, they called her up. And it was Imani Perry the whole time. Sitting right next to me. I had no clue. And I think what it is I don't be knowing what some of these authors look like. I really don't. I didn't realize I was just sitting next to just a legend, a complete literary legend. But anyway, that's my embarrassing story. We could go back to the thing now. Okay, so yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. I'm sure she will not disappoint. Okay, and also coming out on the 28th is Good Dirt by Charmaine Wilkerson. And my copy should be on its way. This is the one that I'm actually currently reading. I'm about 20% in, and I just love it here. I just love it here. I love the black cake, as most of you guys know. And Good Dirt is just giving me feelings of black cake. Once again, Charmaine Wilkerson has given us an object. She's given us an object, and behind this object is so much history. Once again, before it was a cake, right? And then we also had a cassette with some information on it, right? This book has a jar. It is a jar, and there's so much history behind it. I don't like to say this because I didn't finish the book yet, but I feel like it's safe to say y'all should probably pre-order this one, or definitely put it on that library hold list. In fact, I cannot wait to finish recording this so I could go back to reading it. In this book, we follow a family. This is the Freeman family, and we follow a girl named Abby, and Abby's family has suffered an enormous tragedy at the very beginning of this book. So not only has she, suffered an enormous tragedy in this book where her face and name has been all over this small town in New England and in newspaper everywhere. They are one of the only black families in this town. And then she suffers another loss, except this one is with heartbreak. So she decides, now that she's older, that she wants to take a trip to France, and she just wants to spend some time there and just get away and be someplace where people do not know her. They do not know her family's past, anything like that. Well, listen, sometimes you can't run from the past. I'll just say that, okay? Okay, so now we're moving on to February. And February 4th, we have Fearless and Free, a memoir by Josephine Baker. And I am very excited to read this one because this is a book that was previously published in Paris only. And now we have it, now we're getting it in the US. And I'm looking forward to reading a memoir that was written by Josephine Baker about Josephine Baker. I know there are other books that speak on her and her life. But I'm curious to read about her in her own words. Okay, so also on February 4th, we have Harlem Rhapsody by Victoria Christopher Murray. This book, a lot of early copies of this went out, and this book has already been making a lot of waves. People have been talking about it. I have not started reading this yet because I'm still deep into I'm enjoying myself with Good Dirt, so I want to do one upcoming read at a time. I don't want to poly read this just because I just want to, I just want to take my time with them, So this is the story of Jessie Redmond Fawcett, and I spoke about her early last year in my Black Classics video, just wanting to read more of her work. And this is a story of how she's kind of, and I said it in that video, that she is someone that was extremely important during the Harlem Renaissance. She was behind a lot of books that came out during that time period that we know and we love. However, it was something about her name that every time, people bring up the Harlem Renaissance, they would a lot of times leave her out. And I'm sure it's because of her, her marital affair with W.E.B. Du Bois, which apparently this book really digs deep into that. So there's a lot of mess. Hopefully there's a lot of other things to explore, because I'm looking forward to hopefully hearing some names of some other Black authors that I didn't know that I can explore. Some other books that maybe I didn't know about. So I'm hoping to get some real good historical sources that I can dig deeper on. Hopefully it's not just mess. I can take some mess, but I want to, when I'm reading historical fiction, I want like some actual historical stuff. So I really hope that there's some other things in this book other than just the affair, because two things can be true at the same time. She could be a literary icon, and she can also be a side chick. So, listen, we gotta tell the truth, Okay, so another book we have coming out on February 4th. February 4th is another one that is a big publishing day. Okay, so The Sable Cloak by Gail Milissa Grant. This is a historical fiction novel as well. It's an atmospheric novel set in the South and Midwest during the Jim Crow era that reveals a little known part of American pre-civil rights history of Black intrigue and power. Okay, and next on February 4th as well, we have A Season of Light by Julie Iromunya. This is about a Nigerian family living in Florida, and the wounds that get passed down from generation to generation. This is considered a family saga. Another buzzword. Saga. Okay, and another one, this next one, I actually started a little bit of it on audio, like 10%, not too much. Okay, because I do have an advanced audio copy. So it's going to be also coming out on February 4th. This is called Listen to Your Sister by Neena Viel. And this is a speculative horror novel. It's about a 25-year-old girl named Kala. She has been the guardian for her younger brother Jamie. She keeps having these constant nightmares about him and his older brother dying. And then one day there is a protest, and the protest goes really bad to the point where Jamie and Kala and the other brother have to go on the run. So they end up going on the run to a kind of Airbnb in a remote place. And apparently this poses a new threat to them. I don't know what that could be, but that sounds interesting. Also on February 4th, we have Junie by Erin Crosby Eckstein. This is also a historical fiction. I am excited for all the historical fiction that is coming out this year. Specifically Black historical fiction, because y'all know that's me. That's me all day. Okay, this one is about a young girl who must face a life-altering decision after awakening her sister's ghost, navigating truths about love, friendship, and power as the Civil War looms. Okay. Next up, we have a nonfiction. This is coming out February 11th, and this is called Mainline Mama. And the author is Kiana Harris. I want to say Kiona, but I know it's Kiana. And that's actually kind of, I'm not going to lie, it's one of the things that makes me want to read this. What can I say? You know, it's not every day that someone has a very, very close name to mine. So just let me live, okay? This is about a young woman who becomes a single mother after her boyfriend is sentenced to 22 years in prison. This is about her journey as a mainline mama navigating the system. I never heard the term mainline mama. So that's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. I mean, I knew that, you know, obviously this is something that happens a lot, but I didn't know that there was an actual name for it. Okay, also on February 11th, we have People of Means by Nancy Johnson. First of all, I love that there's bamboo earrings and a boombox on the cover. It's already giving my vibe. Like, it's just like already, okay? So this is a historical fiction about a mother and daughter each seeking justice and following their dreams during moments of social reckoning, like 1960s Nashville and 1992 Chicago. So excited. So excited. Okay, also on February 11th, we have Casualties of Truth by Lauren Francis Sharma. This is also the author of Till the Well Runs Dry and Book of Little Acts, I believe it's called. This is a Trinidadian author. And I've had both of those books on my TBR for a little while now. But it would be great to I should just start with this one, you know? This is a literary fiction with elements of thriller about the abuses of history and the costs of revenge, set between Washington, D.C. and Johannesburg, South Africa. I like the sound of that. Okay, moving to February 25th, we have A House for Miss Pauline. And this is by Diane McCauley. This is about a 99-year-old Jamaican woman that asks the question of who owns the land on which our identities are forged. There's also a mystery element in this book. We're moving to March now. We're moving to March. March 4th. So moving to March 4th, we have Dream Count by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This is... I mean, she hasn't written a novel in a very, very long time. So honestly, I am very much looking forward to this. I know a lot of people are, because we have not received the novel in a hot minute, okay? And this is a story of 4 women and their loves, longings, and desires. I like the sound of that. Okay. Also on March 4th, we have Universality by Natasha Brown. She is also the author of Assembly. which came out a couple years ago and was really, really popular. In the midst of an illegal race, a man is beat to death with a solid gold bar. A journalist sets out to uncover the truth. She solves the mystery, but it raises even more questions. Who wrote it? Why? How much of it is true? The book focuses in on what we say and how we say it and what we really mean. I like a book like that, but it tells me the specific mood that I have to be in to pick that up. All right, next, still on March 4th. It's like February 4th, March 4th, January 7th. You know, these are the ones. Okay, we have The Dream Hotel by Lila Lami. I have read one book by Lila Lami before, and I wasn't crazy about it. I think it's called The Other Americans. I wasn't crazy about that. But this sounds interesting, okay? This is a science fiction book about a woman's fight for freedom set in a future where even dreams are under surveillance. See? I'm interested. This sounds very different from the other books that she's written in the past. Okay, still on March 4th, we have A Girl Within a Girl Within a Girl by Nanda Reddy. Nanda Reddy is a Guyanese American author, and this book is about a girl who takes on a series of identities to survive, shrouding herself in layer upon layer of secrets until one morning, years later, she's forced to reckon with her past. And still on March 4th, we have Firstborn Girls by Bernice L. McFadden, which y'all already know I'm so excited about. I don't care what Bernice L. McFadden has written. I would like to read it. I would like it in my possession. This is described as an intimate memoir. It is exploring inherited trauma, family secrets, and the enduring bonds of love between mothers and daughters. It's also about life growing up in 1980s Brooklyn with summer trips to Barbados. Not 1980s in Brooklyn. That is my sweet area. You know, the only thing better than 1980s in Brooklyn is 1990s in Brooklyn. You know, I'm so excited. I have one more story. Just one more quick story. Years ago, I went to a book signing. This was in Brooklyn. I went to a book signing for Nicole Dennis Ben, right? This is when she had come out with Patsy. And I went there to meet her and to get my book autographed. And I was with a couple friends. And as I'm sitting there at this event, I'm just looking around the room and I see her. Bernice L. McFadden. She's there. She's just standing there. And I felt all the breath leave my body. And I said to my friend, oh my God. Like, you know how you just like quickly tap somebody? Like, girl. I was like, it's her. And my friend is like, her who? And I was like, it's Bernice McFadden. She's right there. And then my friend was like, oh, you should go talk to her. You should just say hi. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was so shy. And then when like, you know, the interview was over and now everybody's just kind of like mingling, I was thinking to myself, you know, you really should just go over to her and just say hello and just tell her that you like her work or whatever. When I tell you, by the time I had mustered up enough courage, she was gone. She was freaking gone. I was so mad. I was just so like, you blew it. This is why you gotta be quick. I am not that shy anymore. Today, if I was to see her today, I'd be like, oh, hey, Miss McFadden, you want to come on a chocolate tea party? Because I could get you on a chocolate tea party. Let's have a full-on conversation and have some drinks. And yeah, that's the type of energy I would be coming with today. Yep. So another thing that I wanted to share with y'all is that if you caught the last vlog that I put up, you will see that I actually have a double of this. I have the other copy behind me. So I am going to be giving this away to someone. If you're interested in entering the giveaway to get this extra copy of this advance reader copy. Put down in the comment section these red lips, the red kissy lip emoji. Okay, if you put that down there in the comment section, I will know that you are entering, and that's it. You don't have to say nothing else. And I will say that this is going to be open to US and Canada only, please. Sorry to my international folks, but your girl's on a budget over here. And I will announce in some way. Either I'll announce in a YouTube short who's the winner, or I will do it in the middle of one of my videos. Okay, so now let's get back to the books. Coming out on March 11th is going to be Madame Sosostris and the Festival for the Brokenhearted by Ben Okri. This is a Nigerian writer that I have definitely wanted to get into. Specifically, his book that won the Booker Prize called The Famished Road. I always wanted to read that book. And I'm looking forward to this new one that he has coming out. Let me tell you what it's about. I love this cover. Look at these two black people on the front of this cover. I love this. Or it might be over here. Whichever way. I love it. In this modern fable, a masked ball makes two upper-class British couples see each other in a new light. This is a novel about love, power, and our many selves. That sounds beautiful. Alright. Also coming out on March 11th is The Filling Station by Vanessa Miller. I am kicking myself because I did not get to The American Queen this year by Vanessa Miller. I pre-ordered it and everything and I still didn't read it. This is why I stopped myself from pre-ordering, because I don't need to be doing that. I really just don't need to be doing that. Alright, this one is a historical fiction. Yes. This one is about two sisters that have escaped the Tulsa massacre. They have been spending most of their time at what's called the filling station. And this is the one place that is safe for Black Americans to refuel their vehicles. And it's not just a gas station. It's more like a community where you can also refuel your soul, is how it's described as. But then the sisters realize that they may need to go back to Greenwood and help try to rebuild Black Wall Street and continue on with their father's legacy. Okay, y'all. Oh, that was a lot of books. That was a lot of books. So that is going to be it for this video. Make sure you let me know which ones you are most looking forward to down in the comment section. Please also give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this and you want to see more videos like this. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.